What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer update video. It is match day today in LA, the last full day of the tour, Shaw on Tour business, and what a tour it has been. Don't forget, today's video is sponsored by OneFootball, link in the description below for all your latest team news, transfer news, and to keep bang up to date with your team. Download it, link in the description below, QR code in the top right hand corner. Now, we had a heavy night last night. I'm very tired this morning. We went to an Arsenal event last night over here in LA. It was a fantastic event, I've got to be honest. And there are a number of ex-Arsenal players there and members of staff there. Lauren, former Invincible right back, was there. Ray Parler, Gilberto Silva. Had a really good chat with Lauren actually. He was just talking about, you know, his time as an Invincible and all that stuff. And someone else who was there was Edu. Got to meet Edu. I met him actually last year briefly, but there was a big group of us, didn't really get to speak to him. I actually got a little 30-40 seconds with him, and then obviously the group, we all spoke to him for quite a while, but I had a little time to talk to him. Didn't really get anything groundbreaking, you know. I don't have an inside scoop for you. I actually joked to him about the Mbappe question again. I said, look, Mbappe's available. He said, you know, you've got to write the check for that one. That could be too expensive. But he was talking about characters. One big thing he was saying was, we have to find the right characters. He was saying, from the outside, you're looking at purely the quality of a player. He wasn't referring to Mbappe. He was saying in general. He was like, people from the outside just look at the player. Where he said, it's so important, the character. We have to know what kind of person we're bringing into the club. And I thought that was quite interesting. And it is very true. I've been in dressing rooms. If you have somebody in there that people don't like, it can affect the dynamics. And it is just a little interesting topic. But he was a cool guy. The interesting thing was as well, he actually knew all of us. He was like, listen, I'll watch you. And it was really good to hear. So brilliant to hear Edu watches people's channels and supports, you know. So listen, big up to Edu. He spoke very honestly last night at the event, and big up all the people I met at that event. Let's talk transfers, people. That's what we're here for before we get to talking about the Arsenal v Barcelona match. Major link for Arsenal today. Bit of an interesting one. The impression I get from talking to people at these events, Arsenal staff and things like that, it kind of seems like we're potentially going to go for one more attacking player. But whether that's a striker, I'm not sure. I think it could more be a winger. And we're being linked with a winger today. And this is an interesting one. It's a big name. Some may feel he's past his best. But Arsenal being linked with a move for Bayern Munich's Sadio Mane. Now, there's nothing I need to say about Sadio Mane. We know him well. He's terrorised Arsenal many times. I was actually at the Emirates on his debut for Liverpool. I think they were playing in a black kit and he ripped Callum Chambers apart. He's been an absolute monster at Liverpool for a number of years. We all know that. He went to Bayern Munich last summer and it simply hasn't worked out for him. We know he famously had a bust-up with Leroy Sané that led to punches being thrown. He had a big argument with the press the other day in Germany where he was referring to the press hammering him and he didn't want to speak to them. He's up for sale. Bayern Munich want him off the wage bill, £200,000 a week wages. Not getting on with a number of players. He wants out. Now, he was being linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, who isn't at the moment, for big money. But it's believed Sadio Mane is keen to remain in one of Europe's top leagues, and a move back to the Premier League would tempt him. Now, it's believed that Bayern Munich wants £17 million for Sadio Mane. Obviously, he's on big wages, got 2 years left on his contract at Bayern. But Bayern are saying, listen, we're willing to cut our losses. He didn't have a great season. A lot of the times he was playing up front, which isn't really his best position. I think they were trying to fit in, obviously, Kingsley Coman and Serge Gnabry and Leroy Sané. So it ended up with Mane playing up front a lot of the time, and it didn't really suit him that much. Now, would you take Sadio Mane at Arsenal? I think 2-3 years ago, we'd have all said absolutely 100%. I'll tell you my issue and what, you know, the reason I would and wouldn't. My issue straight away is that Sadio Mane is better on the left. It's the thing we say with a lot of wingers. There are way more left wingers than right wingers. We don't need a left winger. We need a right winger to go and compete with Saka. Now, Mane can play on the right. He played on the right for Liverpool before they signed Mo Salah, and then Salah played on the right and Mane was moved to the left. It's difficult, you know, when a player achieves so much in a certain league and then comes back, you always have that question mark. What kind of hunger do they have? People have to remember he won every single trophy at Liverpool. That was his club. He's ingrained in that football club. At the age of, 31? Can he come back to the Premier League, play for a different team and light it up? Listen, Sadio Mane, I absolutely loved him as a player at Liverpool. I would have definitely taken him. I'm just thinking, with the direction we're going in at the moment, do we want a player that's 31 on big wages that doesn't really, you can't guarantee him a place in the starting 11? I wouldn't want to play Mane over Martinelli. I'd much rather develop Martinelli. Listen, you do need squad depth, and we know that. You need players to fight for position. If Mane was willing to come in and say, listen, I know I'm not guaranteed a starting 11 place, I'm willing to battle with Martinelli and Saka for £17 million. If you can give him maybe a 2-year deal, there is some sense in that, because that is still a top quality player. There's no doubt about it. You don't become a bad footballer overnight after one bad season. So it would depend on his circumstances and his mentality. If he was prepared to be patient and just be a squad player for 17 million, I actually would probably take him. It's just, I would imagine he wants guarantees of first team football. But let me know in the comments, for £17 million, would you take Sadio Mane at Arsenal? Let me know. It's a very interesting one. Another player that looks as if he's likely to join Arsenal soon is Bitello. We've spoken about him a number of times. Being linked with a move from Grêmio, £8.5 million. Deal getting closer according to reports coming out of Brazil. Again, as I've confirmed, he's not able to get a work permit in this country due to the lack of international football for Brazil. It would require him being loaned out to someone else in Europe for the season, with maybe the potential to get him back to Arsenal in a year's time. Don't know too much about him. Creative midfielder, scored 7 goals last year. Looks as if that one may happen. Not too much to say on that deal, to be honest. Couple of players who could potentially be going out. Crystal Palace being linked today with a move for Nketiah. We know that Palace were interested in Nketiah before he signed the new 5-year contract last summer. It's believed that Nketiah is very keen on getting first team football. There was a time last season when he was starting every week. When he had that little run of scoring, there was talk of him getting in the England squad at one stage. At the moment, you know, he can't get... He's getting minimal game time at Arsenal in the league. I know he played at the weekend against Manchester United. He received a lot of criticism after that game. Are Arsenal looking to cash in on him? Palace are back interested in him. They want a younger striker. Jordan Ayew, Nketiah, Odsonne-Edouard, none of them have really been a hit at the moment. And they would like to take Eddie Nketiah. Now, it's believed Nketiah's preference is to stay at Arsenal, but if Arsenal were to sort of accept a deal, then Eddie would be prepared to go to a club like Crystal Palace in London, mid-table, first-team football. It's a no-brainer for him, isn't it? It's believed Arsenal will be looking for around £20 million for Eddie Nketiah. Personally, listen, I'm going to be respectful. For me, for £20 million, I would move Eddie Nketiah on. I think for him, it would be positive to go and play every week. I think for us, it creates space to either promote Balogun or go and bring in a new striker. So let me know in the comments what you think. Would you sell Eddie Nketiah to Palace for £20 million, people? Now, it is match day today, the last full day of the US tour. Wow, what a tour it has been, man. Absolutely incredible. You know, getting in the press conference with Arteta, asking a question, interviewing Smith Rowe, meeting all the players after the game, speaking to Edu last night. It's been absolutely fantastic. Made some great connections over here. But looking forward to the game. As I said, I will have some media access at the game today, so hopefully I can get another interview or another question. We'll see what happens. with that one. But listen, thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know your score prediction for today's game. I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal. There has to be some sort of response after that lacklustre performance against United. We know Barca have a lot of quality. Gundogan, Lewandowski, Osman Dembele, Pedri. They've got bags and bags of quality, so it will be a tough game. Hope to see a lot of you down there at the SoFi Stadium, Stan Kroenke Stadium. A lot of people have told me this is the best stadium in the world, so I'm really looking forward to getting there later on today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Download the OneFootball app, link in the description, and I'll see you all later, people. Bless.